Hi guys, it's that time again. Which is better? Demigod by Behemoth or Dechristianize by Vital Remains? And before I continue, I'm going to leave links in the description to check out songs by MEMORIAM, as well as links to check out my Instagram and Twitter page, where you get to see what my band merch looks like and what songs I'm listening to. So let's continue. Looking at the Demigod album by Behemoth, if you want to see brutality perfected, look no further. Now, Behemoth are one of the most prolific bands in both black and death metal for a reason. While according to some people, there's still a lot left to be desired. But I believe that this album is the true peak of this band, death metal era Behemoth, and here's why. The album features what I believe to be some of Nurgle and Seth's best guitar riffs. I believe the harmonies created by the two here are tighter, more refined, and more crushing than even the monstrous riffs found on the album Zoskia Cultus. Conquer All is an assault on the senses in the best way possible, and I think it summarizes a lot of the essential elements to this album. Straight away, the riffs are thick, they chug aggressively as Nurgle's most vicious sounding vocals to date rise above and read between Seth's screaming lead guitar. It's all executed simply, and it's not particularly technical, but it's all about the groove and flow of it. And your head will be banging until you're swallowed up in a void of crushing heaviness. And of course, the audio so wouldn't be the same without Inferno's demonic drumming. This is probably his most spectacular performance. Drums sound perfect on this album. The blisteringly fast double-paced kicks puncture through Ryan's eruptive bass, snares, and tones pelt the listener with a sonic wall of noise that's just impossible not to fall weak on. The entire album concept rests upon the idea of an Eastern culture that tells brutal stories of ancient ages. The addition of horns and acoustic guitar really help immerse the listener. It's clear in the title track, sculpting the throne of Seth, Conqueror, and towards Babylon especially. Nurgle's vocal performance on this album is adorable. The layering helps transcend one of the most recognizable and evil-sounding death voices and helps to elevate it into the realms of the inhumane or truly demonic origin. The vocal modulation just fits perfectly, crushing the aggression of the music. The sheer fierce nature of the lyrics, of the abits created, etc. just creates that little extra push. Seth has always provided stellar lead playing to Nurgle's rhythm guitar, but when it comes to reaching high on that fretboard, some of the screaming, shredding solos present here are among the best of Behemoth's entire discography. Just check out the Lee Wilson solo performance in Slaves Will Serve and Conqueror in particular. Demigod is such a different beast to a lot of death metal era Behemoth that was released at the time. As good as albums like Philema 6 and Zoskia Cultus was, those albums, and even Satanica to a lesser extent, all felt like they were building up to something bigger, heavier, angrier, and even more evil. They were building up to Demigod, and it succeeded masterfully. We're switching gears, we're going to look at Dechristianize by Vital Remains. The songwriting is amazing, and I love the riffs and intensity. It seemed like this one did well, but I had to say that Icons of Evil was a more suitable palette for some people. But putting that aside, this album is just downright amazing. The riffs are everywhere and they're just brutal. They really hit home with this one. I think they're just great with having Glenn, who's the inside frontman, voluntarily on leads for lead vocals on here. He sounded more like the newer Glenn on these vocals. The lineup is constantly changing, and I don't think there's probably not going to be any original members on the new stuff. And that doesn't bother me one bit. The production is quite good, although a bit raw, but the music sounds top notch despite that. The guitars are fantastic, and it's an overall impeccable album. They got better than the older Quite Fast and seem to be most mature on Icons of Evil. I think that they deserve all the praise they seem to on this album, and really innovative songwriting and Ricky leads. Overall, a very dark and depressing album, and the perfect lyrics for Glenn right up to his ally with the Satanism. If you might want to not read the lyrics of this release if you're bound by religion, then maybe just learn the title of the songs. All the songs were solid and the leads were top notch. Glenn sounded brutal, just applicable to the music of this release. He did them justice both albums, so yeah, this was unrelenting and amazing. Other than that, check this album out. And on that note, let me know in the comments down below what you thought was the better album. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.